Finally, a movie coming out in September that I was actually looking forward to. And not to mention, my twin was in the movie, so that's always awesome. Okay, so The Maze Runner. The Maze Runner is a movie that is based off the book that I've never even heard of or read. Because we live in a day and age where they're taking every single book made in mankind and turning it into a movie. So, you know, why read the book? Just wait for the movie. Because if you read the book, then you see the movie, then you'll be disappointed with the movie. And that always happens, and I didn't want to do that to myself. And what The Maze Runner is about, it's about these group of kids running this whole society. And their whole society, it's a maze. And these kids, they don't remember anything. They don't remember why they're at the maze or how they got to the maze. They just know that they are there. That is until Dylan O'Brien's character shows up, and then everything about this maze, it changes. Interesting concept? Yes, because The Maze Runner, it's actually a pretty good movie. And part of that had to do with the setup and explaining these kids' society. Every month a new kid would be sent up to this maze with fresh supplies so all these kids could survive and, you know, eat. These kids would use these new supplies to build their own homes, to grow their own crops, and then they would use that new kid and put them in a certain place in their built society. They would give them a specific job. You would either be a builder, a farmer, a maze explorer, or, you know, a sex slave. I don't know, maybe. Because in this society, it's all dudes, and, you know, I don't know what they do in there. Ultimate sausage fest ever. In this maze, you do not rest. You will always be working. And some kids like it and some kids don't like it because they have to follow a certain set of rules where they can't go outside the maze. When Dylan O'Brien shows up, he doesn't want to follow any of those rules, and he wants to get every single kid out of that maze. And like I said, it's a pretty interesting concept, and when they explained that in the first 10-15 minutes, I was like, okay, sweet. Now the acting in this movie was actually pretty good. I was really surprised by that. You see these characters perform and they interact with each other, you believe the fact that they are scared and frightened. And one person that showed that off the most was the kid from We're the Millers. The kid with the awesome eyebrows and the... He gets his balls bitten by the spider. You have to admit, that shit was hilarious. He's actually the leader of this whole society. He's telling each kid what to do and what not to do. And you sort of kinda hate his character, but you see that his performance is actually really good. So good job, awesome eyebrow spider balls. That's his new nickname from now on. I'm sticking to it. And I'm just throwing it out there again. My twin was in the movie. And I'm only saying that because the dude reminds me of me. He has the same haircut. He runs extremely fast. Only difference is that I'm not Asian, so there's that. Now I say that my least favorite acting performance in this movie is the chick. Like really, she's the only chick in this movie. Because you're listening to her speak and then you notice that she's actually losing her accent at some scenes. She's like switching off and you're like, oh, you should have fixed that up a little bit. But overall, the characters were actually pretty cool. Now the things they have to fight in the movie, which is like this spider-like robot things, they wander inside the maze at night, and one thing I was thinking of when I actually see those things is, man, Mr. Eyebrows better keep his balls safe. Those things could probably chew off his whole dick and balls if they wanted to. Now these spider robot things, they're actually pretty cool. Sometimes you're left with, okay, how are they gonna defeat these things? It makes the movie a little bit more suspenseful, and that's always good. Now some scenes in the movie, I'm not gonna tell you which ones, you're left with, wow, that was actually really cool. And I gotta give the movie points for that because they go further than the PG-13 rating. The only really big downside of the movie is the ending. Because the ending happens and you're just like, ugh, what? And it makes you think back in the movie and you're like, okay, that doesn't make sense, and that doesn't make sense either. And it gets you thinking and a little bit more confused. And does it leave it open for a sequel? You bet your ass it does. And I'm betting that's not really a surprise to you guys because I know that every book that's being turned into a movie is trying to be like The Hunger Games. Which isn't a bad thing for these movie series because I actually like The Hunger Games. So The Maze Runner is a solid movie with pretty good acting. It had a really interesting concept that pushed way past a PG-13 rating, and the characters, they were solid. You actually liked them. And the ending of this movie wasn't good at all. It'll leave you with so many unanswered questions. Would I go see this movie again? Yeah, sure, if I wasn't paying for my ticket. Because if it's down to that situation, I am totally up for it. But the best way to see The Maze Runner is go see it at matinee. You'll be happy if you do so. Have you guys seen The Maze Runner? What did you guys think about it? Be sure to leave a like and comment on the video, and as always, there's a link below for my Twitter and my Facebook. Keep in contact with me, but in the meantime, I have to get going.